Hello, everybody. K.A. Williams here. Listen, this is another episode of Angry at God. Now, before we get started, I want to remind you guys, I do these videos not just for you, but for me. I need these videos as well. All right, because I tell you guys all the time, as I fulfill my life's purpose, I want to empower you to do the same thing. I want to empower you. All right, so we're going to do this together. All right, the name of this episode is Great Expectations. All right, Great Expectations. Listen, if you guys have been following me, my videos, you understand that the Angry at God series is about people who may or may not know that they're angry at God. All right, so we're addressing these issues that would cause them to be angry at God and them not even know it, or some of them do know it. All right, so Great Expectations. Look, there are thousands, millions of people out there who are angry at God because of the simple fact that they had a great expectation. All right. And God did not fulfill that great expectation. All right. In fact, that great expectation to them turned into a great disappointment. All right. And some of us have resentment. We have these feelings of bitterness, of being angry, of being, we're not happy with God. We're really not. All right. So that's what we're talking about. Some people feel so justified in their anger. It's become such a habit. All right. Their situation with God has become so normal. All right. That they don't even realize that they have this bitterness or this resentment against God. They don't even realize that underneath it all, even if they have a relationship with Him, they're angry with Him, or they haven't forgiven Him. All right. And it's crazy because they forget that they're even angry at God because it's become normal. All right. In the back of their minds, they're angry at God, but in everyday life, even in their prayers, they don't realize it. All right. How many of you guys have you ever been praying and in your prayer, you start to pray about a certain situation or something that you've been praying about for a long time, something that's been important to you. And at the time when you get on that prayer, when you get on that specific part of the prayer, your prayer starts to go downhill, or you start to feel some kind of way. You realize that your prayer is not a positive prayer any longer. It's starting to turn negative. All right, so that's what we're talking about. Great expectations. That's when things go wrong when you don't want them to. Or you expect them to go better and you wonder why God isn't answering. All right. So listen, we don't understand God's ways. We don't understand the way He thinks. All right. And a lot of times that bothers us. That bothers us when we don't understand His ways. We don't understand what He's thinking, what He's planning, what He's doing. All right. So when our great expectation isn't met, the human side of us, what we start to do, we start to question His ways. We start to question His love. We start to question His intentions, all right, as if He's the bad guy. We start to question Him as if He's an enemy instead of a loved one, all right. So we start to think that there's something wrong with God, all right. So listen, guys, let's turn that around. God wants so much for us. He wants so much for us. But we will never have what He wants for us if we can't be in agreement with Him. I'll say it again. God wants so much for us. All right. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard the things that He has in store for us. All right. Neither has entered into the heart of man. All right. But we can never attain those things. We can never get those things that He has in store for us if we can't come to agreement with Him. All right. So I'm gonna give you three quick things to think about. He won't hold you back from anything that is good for you. All right, that's number one. God will not hold you back from anything that is good for you. Number two, He won't take away anything that benefits you. He won't take away anything that benefits you. That's number two. Number three, He won't stop us from the right path. All right, think about that. God will not stop you. This is number three. God will not stop you from the right path. All right. And I'm not saying there's not going to be trials along the path. I'm not saying that the path is going to be easy. However, God is not going to stop you from the right path. All right. So you got to take those three things into account. All right. Listen, we have to be in agreement with him. In order for us to go where we need to go, do the things that we need to do, we have to be in agreement with him. All right? We need to stop all this resentment, this bitterness, this disagreeing with God. We need to let go of our pride. We need to let go of our past. Stop holding on to the past. All right? We talked about this. Listen, this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. We need to check ourselves before we hold things against God. We need to check ourselves before we try to hold something against God. Because the very thing we're holding against him could be the very thing preventing our great expectation. I'll say it again. The very thing we're holding against him could be the very thing that's preventing our great expectation. All right? I appreciate you guys. Grace and peace to you.